All right. Hi. In this video, we are going to look over how to start and do the pre-lab for the force versus acceleration lab. So here you'll find the Canvas page, and in this lab, we basically have two goals. So here's the deals, right? So far in this class, we've really only focused on objects that have balanced forces. So meaning that the force to the right is kind of equal to the force to the left, and so that means that the net force, the total force, is zero. But now we're going to start looking at things that are going to accelerate. So that means their net force is not zero. And the goal here, the first goal, is to find the relationship between the force applied to the object and the acceleration of the object. So we are going to use a fan cart in order to do that. So when we talk about the object, what we mean is the fan cart. And so we're going to be looking for the acceleration of the fan cart based on a force applied to the fan cart by the fan, right? So the fan is on, that's going to apply a force to the cart. The cart's going to begin to accelerate, and then we need to know what the force is and also what the acceleration is. The second goal, which is going to be addressed in part 2 of this lab, is how does the mass of an object affect the acceleration of the object? So we're going to be changing the mass of the cart and seeing how that affects the acceleration. So obviously, if you're not in class right now, then you can't see you don't know what the fan cart is. So this video right down here, which is only 3 seconds long, is going to show you what the acceleration, or like what the fan cart is. It's basically one of the motion carts that we have with a fan attached to the top of it. So that's that. Next, you're going to go ahead and open up the document right here. And when you do that, it'll ask you to make a copy of it. And this is what it will look like. Again, there are the two goals at the top, and the materials that you get are the track and the motion sensor. You're familiar with those because we've been using them all year or earlier in the year with all of the motion stuff, right? Running the track down or the cart down the track, measuring, using the motion sensor to tell us the position and time, velocity and stuff like that. The new thing that you haven't seen before is this cart with a variable speed fan attached to it. So in the video, it's right. You can see right here. It's got basically that fan has 3 speeds: low, medium, and high. And so, or 1, 2, and 3, and so that's that. So you also get various masses that you can put onto that fan cart. Again, you won't need those until part 2. And then you also get a force sensor. This is a new piece of equipment that you haven't seen before. It's basically a little black box that's on the end of the track, and it's got a little hook on it, and you can basically hook something on it, like a piece of string or something like that, and it will tell you how many newtons you are pushing or pulling that hook with. So, and then you also get some string. So those are the materials that are available to you. The thing you need to do first is the pre-lab. And so, right, on a scratch paper, draw a free body diagram for the cart if the fan is on. Assume the wheels of the fan have very low friction. So what I mean by that is that by very low friction, I mean no friction. Obviously, if you're watching this, that means you're probably at home, and so therefore you can't show me that. But that's okay. The next question says, how does the force of the fan compare to the net force? Again, remember that net force means the total force. So it's asking, how does the force of the fan compare to the total force? Again, looking back, there's no friction, so keep that in mind as you go to answer this question. Question number 3 says the fan has 3 different speed settings. How could you use the above materials to find the force applied by the fan? Again, going back up, we get things, right? We got our fan cart, we got a force sensor, we got some string. How could you use those objects to figure out what the force, like how many newtons does the fan apply when it's on speed 1? How many newtons does it apply when it's on speed 2 and 3, right? And then the last one, number 4, is the motion sensor will give you a position versus time graph and a velocity versus time graph. How could you use these to find the acceleration of the cart? And to answer that question, you have to think back to our kinematics unit, and you have to think about like how do you get acceleration from either one of or from one of those graphs. If you've forgotten, go back into your physics journal, and I apologize, I'm looking for it right now. To tell you which one to do, but I think it's just the acceleration ones. Yep. So just look, to help you answer this one, look at the acceleration notes in the physics journal, and that will tell you how to answer that question. Okay, so in the next video, I will go over these answers and help us set up the next part. So what you should do now is complete these, the pre-lab questions, and then we will go over and then watch the next video, and I'll tell you how to start doing the lab, as well as giving you some of the data. Okay, thank you very much for watching.